Hey, we're live. This is Comics and Coffee. I am drawing the VeeFriends comics live today. Today I'll be working on this one. A little bit of a sommelier bowling. Talk about that in a moment. And I am DJ Kaufman, the cartoonist here at VeeFriends. So I'm drawing the comics every day. We have the daily comics, a lot of stuff going on at VeeFriends. If you're new to VeeFriends, it's over 280 characters, created by Gary Vaynerchuk. You might know him from Wine Library TV or all the wonderful things that Gary does out there. And my job is to create the daily comic strip. I kind of want to, 8:30 is when the new strip drops. I kind of want to look back real quick and read through yesterday's comic together here, or today's comic live. It's dropping. By the way, if you're reading this live, please share it and comment on it. It's the best way for people to discover VeeFriends through our comics too. So we'll share all the posts, but this is the comic show, so I'm telling you to share the comics, right? So let's read today's comic real quick. We got Fearless Fairy. It's Fearless Fairy week here at VeeFriends. We've been kind of doing a theme sort of thing. Last week it was Insightful Irish Terrier. So we have Bare Minimum Bob here. So she's like, Bare Minimum Bob, are you hiding in the break room? And he's like, shh, I'm quiet quitting. Keep it down, Fairy. And then she's like, why are you so afraid to work? Morning, everybody. I gotta put up my chat actually. See that. Thanks for watching. So why are you so afraid of work? And he's like, I'm not afraid to work. I do my job as described, but no more than that. Sorry, I'm not a very great narrator. I'm not gonna do voices and stuff. I used to work super hard, but the company didn't care. I'm just a cog in their machine. So now we're kind of learning a little bit about Bare Minimum Bob. We've kind of had him as a foil in a couple of the strips, but what we want to do at VeeFriends too is we don't just make fun of people. We want to maybe help Bare Minimum Bob get better, right? So what is he afraid of, right? He says he's not afraid of anything. He works hard, does his bare minimum work, right? Good morning, guys, over on TikTok. Morning, bees, over on Twitch. We're live on all of the VeeFriends channels right now. Pick your poison, your choice. So yeah, he used to work really hard. And Fairy's basically telling him here, you seem really unhappy with this job. Why not go find one where you could excel? And he says, I guess I'm afraid those jobs don't exist. By the way, Peach alert, my cat has joined the stream. That's where she perches. Sometimes I forget that she's there, so say hello, Peach. Sorry, TikTok, you can't see this, but she's back there. So she says, why don't you just get another job if you don't like this one? He says, I guess I'm afraid those jobs don't exist. And then he's like, oh, wow. That he just said that out loud. And then she's like, boom, there it is. Your true fear. Whenever you say you're afraid, those things don't exist. And so Bare Minimum Bob actually gets the thought in his head, maybe he should work on his resume. And Fairy's like, my work here is done. So a little twist on, Bare Minimum Bob. Instead of just making fun of the guy, we kind of have a little empathy, understand why he's feeling that way. But he also kind of has that fear that those jobs don't exist for him out there. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. You might be comfortable in a job or something like that and afraid to look and kind of get out there with yourself. So don't be. And if you are, remember Fearless Fairy. She's going to say, what are you really afraid of, right? Sometimes just by listening to ourselves or like journaling, we can find what we write down as like our fears. Okay, so that was a fun one to draw, and it's been a fun week. Hey, good morning, Josh Courage, over on the Courage Show on Twitch. Today we're going to draw, I guess, a wine-related strip. We'll talk about that. So I'm just going to get into this. I've already done some of the pencils, so I'm just going to start inking this and slide that out, kind of fade that out. TikTok, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. Just a little bit more, and kind of adjust these Post-its a little bit. Just want you to be able to see the comic a little bit better on TikTok. Appreciate you guys watching. If you're new to VeeFriends, again, it's over 280 new characters created by Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, superstar entrepreneur, Gary V. He's really hard to define, but if you ask him, he'll say he's an entrepreneur. But thought leader in business and marketing and storytelling, and these characters all have different traits. Here I'm drawing the sensible sommelier. You know, a sommelier is a guy that usually is serving you like wine, right? Like a wine expert. And I don't know, will I see anybody at the secret wine party? I don't even know if I'll be there, if they'll let me in. Maybe they'll like, no cartoonists allowed in this joint. I'll be up in New York at that week, so if anybody's going to the secret wine party, if they don't let me in, maybe you'll find me at like an Irish pub nearby or something. But, you know, chances are I might make an appearance over there. Can't promise that I'll draw anything at 10 o'clock at night, but, you know, if you're going to be at the secret wine party, yeah, it'll just be me and Josh Courage over at the Irish pub somewhere, if they won't let me in. I think I'm pretty positive there's a free RSVP that you should get on. We'll talk more about that this weekend. And this is Saturday's comic strip, so I'm inking it up real quick. Or we'll at least do the first two panels here. Let me just make sure no one's asking for anything in the comments here. Appreciate you guys watching. So I'm always cautious of talking about drinking or something like that, but I only casually drink. I'm not a big drinker, actually. You know, I like a Guinness, honestly. Not a whole lot of alcohol in that. I like the flavor. I also like the flavor of delicious coffee here. We'll have a little drink, little cat nap behind me going on. Appreciate you guys watching. Friday morning, I hope you're excited for the weekend or whatever you got going on this weekend. What do I have going on this weekend? I don't know. My wife's out of town. She's at like a pottery convention. So we have this ongoing joke that like when she's out of town, I don't do this anymore because I'm eating healthier and stuff, but when she would be away, I would eat White Castle burgers and like Doritos and pop and like just eat totally unhealthy like a bachelor when she was out of town. So I joked with her because she's like, okay, there's fruit in the fridge and there's this and there's that. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to get White Castle burgers and just totally binge it up on the couch. I was joking. Don't want to wreck myself. So but, yeah, I'll be hunkered down here drawing some comics probably through the weekend too. I want to get ahead on comics, and I got my own stuff to do too, you know. So I'm working on. I got a drawing club. See, Lola was over in the chat. Heading to work, so I can't stay, but definitely in the rewatch crew. Appreciate that. I actually had a lot of people asking me questions this week about comic strips from my art community, so I told them about the stream and to kind of, check in on here. I can't really give too many. I'm willing to stop and, give a tip or something, but this is my process. We start with the pencils very lightly. Oh, see, people are following me. How was my doctor's appointment yesterday? Was she proud of me? That she indeed was. My my doctor's appointment went very well. For those that don't follow the stream, I've just been eating healthier and doing some fasting and stuff for the past month or so. It's a process. That's not like it's a slower process that I'm doing because I just want to lose weight healthier and just get healthier and stay, alive. Would be great. But yeah, my doctor was totally pleased. Lost some weight. Got my blood work the same day. Like, these are real fascinating. These are deep, important conversations we're having here about my health. But got to stay alive because I got a lot of comics to draw. So, but no, it was great. It felt good to get the props from the doc, and just making sure I'm also not wrecking myself. Just asking a doctor. There's a lot of online people that are like, do this, do that thing, and you can really wreck yourself. I wrecked myself a little bit with a potato diet a couple years ago. So it worked, but man, I wrecked myself a little bit with that. So yeah, I don't do fad diets. So I am doing some fasting, which is fantastic. It's great. I like it. Consult your doctor. And then the doctor's office is in a new facility where it's convenient for me, but my doctor had to move from her small little house kind of set up in my small town to this big corporate, facility, and she hates it. I think they hate it. They're miserable. But it's more convenient for me, the customer, because they have the blood work there. So I got my blood work done, and my cholesterol is like super low, and it was super high last year in March. So I've killed it. Simple little things, eating healthier, and at least limiting sweets. It's kind of hard to avoid sugar completely because it's in everything, but everything in moderation. So thanks for asking. That's my health update. So yeah. Hope everybody else is taking care of themselves a little bit. I think I realized at some point, I'm drawing the sensible sommelier here. He's bowling. This is how he, unwinds. And actually, this is a strip that Adam Rips will love this one because it's a gag that Adam said kind of in a brainstorm, and I loved it. I think he said it in passing, and I was like, I wrote it down in January. I was like, that's a good one. I'm writing that down. So Adam Rips has got some fire humor. You might not know it. I don't know. He doesn't joke around much on the streams. He's pretty serious with his card giveaways and collectability knowledge, Adam. But he's funny. He's a funny dude. Love watching the Fanatic streams. There's one today, I believe, this afternoon. I may come back on a secret drawing stream later here. I might be on the TikTok. I might just go live on TikTok to finish up this comic and maybe work on. I have the Sunday going too, which is pretty cool. It features Fearless Fairy. Excited about that one. It's kind of a little bit different. I'm excited for you guys to see the upcoming Sundays. I've really spent some, that week off that I took wasn't really a week off. It was me working on Sundays, and I'm really excited for you guys to see those comics. They're, you know, I don't want to say next level or anything like that, but they're pretty awesome. I'm excited about that. There's so many things happening behind the scenes I can't talk about, and I won't. But there is a secret wine party coming up. I don't know if you knew about that in New York. Sensible Sommelier might be there. It's going to be at a secret location. We don't know where, but hey, Tim over on TikTok. Sorry, I'm just checking the chat over there. Thanks for watching, man. Steve's always over on the TikTok. I'm going to spend a little time working on some sketch cards for everybody. I got to still send Steve's out to Ireland. I really want to go over to Ireland at some point. I should look up to see like who my family is over there. Just kind of show up and be like, hey, look, I'm related to you. I wonder how often that happens, Steve, in Ireland. Do people just like show up at your door and like, I'm from America and I'm related to you? Because I have a lot of friends that do that. Then it seems when they're like, I went to Scotland and I went to Ireland and I found my ancestors, and I'm like, did they know you were arriving? Or did you just kind of show up? I'm just trying to picture the other side of that too. That's kind of like, I work myself through, scenarios like that, because every once in a while you'll find like a funny joke too, or a funny situation. I'm just picturing myself having coffee, sitting down, reading, and then there's a knock at my door and some strange traveler, and he's like, hey, are you DJ Kaufman? I'm related to you. And I'd be like, that's cool. Can you leave now? I'm not a big fan of uninvited guests at my house, so not a huge fan of that. Neither is my dog. She does not like anybody stopping by unannounced. You have to call and ask my dog if you're allowed to visit. Hey Josh, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one, man. Stay healthy, everybody. Now I have a pressure to like make sure I maintain it because I've said it out loud. Can't be going backwards now. Can't let people down. They'll be like, DJ, I thought you said you were getting healthy. Why are you having this unhealthy chocolate or something? I don't know. Definitely, it sounds so embarrassing almost to say, like, I definitely used to do some stress eating at my old jobs. I don't really do that anymore. I don't really feel like, I'm very thankful for having a job where I don't feel stressed, for sure. Like, I don't feel any stress. Please, I hope now that I said it to the team, they're going to be like, let's stress it out. No, they wouldn't do that. But yeah, I think my doctor too, when I was talking to her, she was like, wow, all of your stuff is lower. And I'm like, I think a lot of health problems come from work stress and life stress, worried about stupid things that don't matter, meetings and whatnot. Speaking of which, I should make sure that my watch is turned up. My watch just told me it's time to stand up. Nope. I gotta sit here and draw for a little bit. Yeah. I really wish that for my friends, that you can find a job or something that you love doing out there. If you're unhappy like that Bob comic today, the bare minimum Bob, Fearless Fairy, if you missed it, let's go back and look at it real quick for the people that joined. Fearless Fairy is kind of helping out bare minimum Bob today, who's quiet quitting because he's miserable at his job. He's not afraid of work. He just does the bare minimum. He used to work super hard. Hey, I'm proud of myself. This is like a stream reset. I'm just kind of getting better at this. Take a look at this again. And she says, get another job. But he says, I'm afraid those jobs don't exist. This is something that I've heard people say. Even my wife right now, she's been looking for another job for quite a while. She's been through the ringer with the jobs out there and stuff. It's quite a journey. Boom, there it is, your true fear. So she's actually helped bare minimum Bob think of like, maybe he should work on his resume. And I thought to myself, like, how fun is that we don't just have a foil and we're not just making fun of Bob. We want to help bare minimum Bobs out there. Yeah, I appreciate that, Ginger. Carly, glad you liked the comic today. Is this where all the cool kids are hanging out? Yes. This is it. You found it. You found the stream where all the cool kids are hanging out. Yeah, I talked to a lot of artists out there that have day jobs and they're just miserable. I get it. It's hard to make art like your full-time thing, but even when art wasn't my full-time or drawing wasn't my full-time, I still found a job that I liked doing. So I was basically in marketing and running a fairly large team, but it was in a fun company that did print-on-demand stuff for basically YouTubers were our top sellers. So I got to work with a bunch of creators basically, and I was a creator, and that just was a perfect fit because I understood how creators thought and artists, and I could be advocates or an advocate. I could be an advocate for them inside the company, and I always was. So when some corporate stuff was going down, I'm like, hey guys, I don't think that's gonna fly with creators. And at first, having that kind of voice inside of the company was very contentious the first couple years. They're like, yeah, we don't care. We got bottom lines to do. But over time, because I was there for 10 years, I actually climbed up that corporate ladder accidentally. And then by the end of it, when I decided to quit, I was pretty much the number 2 of all of North America for that company. But I wasn't happy. Just wasn't happy. Like I said, stress and the corporate environment and the unknown. I wanted to kind of listen to what I wanted to do more of, which was a lot more art, and actually my desire to make a daily comic strip. And it just kind of manifested into this way. It's cool. I was just talking, I just sent a nice, I like to send messages of like thanks to people too. And I sent a nice message to Daryl Eves, who wrote a book called The YouTube Formula. I read that years ago, and I went to Vid Summit and got to meet a lot of friends there, people that became friends, and in YouTube land, creator land. And I told him, I said, I don't think I wouldn't have this job that I have right now had I not gotten the courage, maybe if that's the word, to really just kind of be myself and just really lean into that. Not courage, but it kind of felt like no one cared about the art, or no one would care about a daily comic strip, you know. And it took me a while to have somebody like Gary or Daniel Batal or Roberto Blake. They all kind of say something about the similar thing about finding your authentic voice and really leaning into it. But it's easier said than done, because I'm like, well, who cares about comic strips? You know, who's going to want to watch that? And just kind of thinking about that thinking that I was stuck in, or that there's not a few, no one's going to want that, or that's all the doubts that the world kind of puts in your head, I think is what I'm getting at there. You know, thanks for joining over on TikTok, watching. Not a whole lot of people on TikTok today, so Mark just joined the stream over there. Hello, Mark. If you're new to VeeFriends, this is the daily comic strip that I'm drawing. VeeFriends is, I don't know what I have pulled up here. Oh, I do. Boom. All right. If you're not familiar with VeeFriends, this is the wonderful website of VeeFriends. And you know what? I just remembered, now that I'm looking at the minis, I did not pick a mini for my pencil today. Gosh darn it. We're going to fix that right now. Oh. The cat's on the back of the chair and I almost killed her. It's great. Let's switch this screen up real quick. Apple Pencil meet Slay and Slug. Let's put him on there. All right. Slay and Slug time. We're going to slay this comic and the next comic today. That's what we're going to do. All right. He's on there. This is the VeeFriends website. There's over 280 characters. There's some merch there, you know, like there's all the characters have merch, which is pretty incredible. There is the trading card game. Oh, what did I do? Just kind of looking through, just showing you what's up. Especially George over on TikTok. People that just joined, like this is what VeeFriends is. There is a trading card game. We have the comics, cartoons. The cartoons coming out from Moonbug pretty soon. The minis are out there. No offense to the other things. I'm really enjoying the minis. You can collect these little guys. They're in vending machines across the country, and I think there's still the Everbowl thing going on too. Everbowl restaurants all have them. They look like this. See that? But they're a lot of fun. Anyways, I should get back. Stop looking through VeeFriend stuff, and I need to get back to this comic. But I'm drawing the daily comic strip, so that's what I'm doing here today. And rambling, you know, stream of consciousness on a Friday morning. But yeah, I think my point earlier was I just hope that you, whatever you're out there doing, I hope you enjoy your work. And if you don't, you know, like Gary says, and a whole bunch of other people say it too, and it seems trite sometimes when someone's like, you know, follow your bliss or find your passion. And I don't know. I think it's true, and I hope you're able to do that sooner rather than later. Morning Corso over in the chat. Colette says fear equals stuck and courage equals unstuck. Morning, Colette. What's my cat's name? My cat's name. Where is she? That's Miss Peach. No? Oh, that's a bad look right there. That's the leave me alone glare. I'm gonna bite you. That's Peach. Miss Peach. Peaches and cream. I think we just call her Peach. She loves to wake me up at 3 in the morning, especially when my wife's out of town. She's like roams around the house looking for my wife. And the other day, I woke up at 3 in the morning and she was in my face like a Stephen King movie, like trying to like steal my soul or something. I was just like trying to get in my mouth or something. I was like, "What are you doing? You know? Love you, cat, but you're smothering me." This comic features sensible sommelier. I like to talk about the traits a little bit. It's tough sometimes with some of the characters, like sensible, being sensible. A sensible choice. What else? What else? Here he's bowling. This was Adam Ripp's. You know, you guys can, if Adam's in the office, you can ping him and just say, like, DJ's drawing your one comic idea. I think he'll appreciate it. See, I don't think like there's always. I feel like sometimes there's ideas that like are thrown around, and they seem really silly, but I still write them down. I write them down in a little notebook. We've got a little board, and sometimes ideas always have their time. So, I wrote this joke down that Adam did in a meeting, like a one-off thing that he said, and I was like, I think that's hilarious. I've done that a couple times now. The superb owl, that was also an Adam Rips gag that he said. I don't know if you guys remember that comic. That was one. It just goes to show that like some ideas, they might not work right this instant, but it's 2 months later and it was perfect for this coming week with the secret wine party that's coming. I'm just gonna work on these two. Am I drawing names? Well, Pedro, you just asked. And now that you've asked, what name would you like me to draw? Is it Pedro or is it something else? You've unlocked the secret level of this stream. I'll check in a second. I'm going to finish up this bowling ball. You put your name in the chat that you want me to draw. We'll do that up. Not that it's like a special offer or anything like that. It's just something fun that we do here. So, Pedro, figure out what name you want me to draw, and let's do it. And if you have a favorite VeeFriend, let me know. Just curious, and why. You know? Guys, I don't like this bowling ball. I'm gonna erase this. This is not. It looks more like a ugly blueberry. Oh, I thought I used the quick line here. I just want it to be like a really there. That's better. All right. All right. I'm gonna draw GG. I'm gonna do PG. I'll do PG. Legit llama. I don't know if I can draw legit llama. Look him up. Pedro. What name do you want me to draw, Pedro? I'll wait for you. Is this the comic about Nick over on TikTok says this is the comic about when I beat Gary in bowling twice. You're safe. Gary won't. Gary's all the way in Miami, I think, so he's not going to come and challenge you to a rematch. Okay. That's funny. All right. Well, Pedro, I'm still waiting on you, but I'm gonna do something else real quick. 1 second. It's fun hanging out. Already inked that panel in less than 30 minutes. That's good. That's great. I sketched this up beforehand. I got the rest of it too. But I saw someone else got a legit llama, and they asked me to draw a llama with the sleeves cut off, or like a ripped muscular arms. All right, let's do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop a new layer. Where am I gonna put this? Let's do that. Pedro. Switch to the green. Kind of hard to see on the stream. I think I'm going to switch back to red. Go with that. Okay, we're going to do GG, and then we'll do Pedro if you come back with a name. Otherwise, I'm just going to draw your name, Pedro. Ginger, is there a reason that she likes llama? I got to be honest with you. Llamas are my favorite animal. I have a whole bar downstairs that's shaped like a llama. It's called the llama bar. Oh, I just do. I've wiped away the... There we go. I also accidentally closed the chat. Okay, there we go. It says my connection is unstable. What's going on? Yeah, that can't be true. I want to keep it going. If I vanish, well, you know, it would just be my... I kind of want it to be fluffy, just like the... I also don't know why I like llamas, but there was, I think a long time ago, there was one at a zoo, and he like was chill, and I went up and had like a soda in my hand or something, like something with a straw, and he was like, "Hey, give me that." And I just hung out with this llama for a little bit. And he was just like hanging with me. And then when I started to leave, he was like following me. They would like have the llamas right along the railing at like the Pittsburgh Zoo. just scroll down here real quick. I think our man llama has one of these kind of. Heads. Big fan of the characters with the heart noses. Love that. Always love to see that. That's how I used to draw my cartoon cats a long time ago. This little bit of a first time I've drawn the llama, so you know. Let's first time I've drawn this llama. Do you have an NFT of the llama? I wonder. I don't want it to look like a kangaroo. There we go. Llamas are really chill. Although they will spit on you. I gotta be honest. They're not like alpacas are nicer. Llamas can be kind of testy. Let me tell you. Llamas are like cats in a way. They kind of know, like they'll let you, like it's time to be loved. But if they're like in a bad mood, they will legitimately shun you and hiss at you and like, leave me alone, human. Pedro, where are you? Just gonna go ahead and draw like this. That's cool. Let's go to the other screen. Get the cat in a screenshot there. Faithful pheasant. Really need a llama. Well, there's a legit llama. I'm gonna clean up those. Not gonna ink it, but it's there. Make it really big on the screen for you too. If you want to take a picture of that. There it is. I'm gonna group this layer. Cool. Pedro, you popped in and popped out. Let's you know, Pedro, if you come back, here it is for you, Pedro, my friend. I had a good friend in high school named Pedro, so I'm just thinking of that guy. Now, let's go, Pedro. Pedro Vasquez played football. Pedro, if you come in here and you give me another name, I'll draw it real quick. And then I gotta get back to drawing the comic. We're gonna just go ahead and give you a quick name here. Said on another stream ages ago, 1,000,000 years ago, I worked at a coffee shop and I used to draw the menu boards. And then when I stopped working there, they actually paid me to come back and draw the menu boards for a bit. So like if it was like a drink name or something like that, I try to like kind of just go with the feeling of whatever the, if it was something that was like flowery or, you know, something like that. It helps me practice my hand lettering a little bit. Pedro, you didn't give me a character. It wasn't the deal, but let's just draw you up. Flexing Fox here. I can remember how to draw him. That would be great. I gotta learn to draw like mini faces so that I can start getting used to drawing quickly these characters, because I think I'm going to be going to some live events and things like that in the future, and I want to be able to, if you say that you're, you know, it would be really cool if I could just draw. There's 280 characters, so it's very challenging. But I'd like to draw like a mini version of all the characters and just kind of know how to do those on command. So you get a little flexing fox here. Because Pedro, I appreciate you coming in the stream saying that. Pedro, there you go. You get a little fox, a little Pedro action there. Cool. All right, I got to get back to drawing this comic, but if you know, if you saw that and you want me to draw your name or something, or a name for a friend, go ahead, put it in the chat. I could take some breaks, and I'm all for that. I feel like this music got low. Let's turn on the other music. We got our man, Sensible Sommelier, bowling. He's getting ready for the secret wine party. He's gonna have a lot of work to do. He's getting ready to knock those bottles down. He's throwing maybe a strike. Then I don't know if I want to reveal this. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Maybe you'll have to wait for the comic. Let's see here. I got messages. What's going on? What's going on? Oh, should have said that earlier. I was like, about stress carries over in the chat, our work chat, saying, let's stress them out. 2 comics a day. No stress. No stress. What else do we got? Cool. I'll check my other messages when I get off the stream. All right, back to drawing. I will check the chat though. If you want me to draw a name or something, let me know. Or just enjoy drawing, watching me draw, hanging out for a little bit. Appreciate that. I'll go back to the inking brush here. Yeah, so if you haven't heard, there's a secret wine party happening next week. Details about it on the VeeFriend socials. Um, maybe I'll see you there if they let me in. If they don't, I'll just go to like an Irish pub or something, and we'll have a secret Guinness party or something like that. Or maybe I'll have a secret coffee party in the morning. Who's up for a secret coffee party? Let's do that. Hey, Rocky. We're on TikTok. See your name pop up there. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. I'm going to switch my view real quick. I think you can kind of see the TikTok view and the kind of getting experimenting with different views and whatnot. Some people will message me, my art friends will message me and say they like to see what my hands are doing. That helps, I don't know. So he's bowling with some wine bottles. They're empty. I don't think he's trying to, knocking him down. Maybe this is how now you've learned something about sensible sommelier. He's a bowling. That's what he does to unwind after a long day of being sensible. Long day of making sensible choices. I don't really have them. I'm trying to think as I draw when I'm not on camera, I'm always trying to think about the trait of the characters that I'm drawing, maybe in my own life, but also how do we, elements that we could talk about. So sensible choice, I guess, for a sommelier, it might be, something that's sensibly priced, but you still get a quality for your, about being not frugal, but sometimes the more expensive stuff isn't really better. I don't know anything about wine, guys. Only what I don't even remember anything that I'll watch, like the new wine shows and stuff with Gary, and I've seen a few. Actually, that's the first time I told this story before, but someone's like, when was the first time you ever saw Gary? And I'm like, I actually did see old Wine Library TV. Not when he very first started, because it was a little bit after, but he had this show, out. I was going to a wine tasting event that I thought was going to be super fancy, and I was like worried, like, am I going to wear the right thing? Or I don't know anything about wine. I'm going to mess up and look like a phony or something. And I was looking all over the internet for tips on wine tasting or that kind of stuff years ago, right? This was years and years ago. And so I ended up seeing some of Gary's. Like, I was like, what wine would I like? I don't know. I want to know before I go, kind of thing. So I watched a couple of his things and wrote them down and went to the liquor store. I'm in Pennsylvania, so we have controlled, liquor stuff here. Went there and picked gave the names to the person, and I didn't really like the taste of the wine, but that was my first time experiencing Gary. I thought it was cool. It's like you can learn so much on YouTube, and and then I went to that wine party or wine tasting. We had bought tickets for this thing, and I thought it was going to be super fancy, and it was not. It was really lame. It was a lame. It wasn't even like I don't know. Can't explain it. It just wasn't what I thought it would be in my mind. And that was the lesson. That was a lesson that I didn't know to learn back then. Was that sometimes the worries that you have, are all in your mind. I worried that wasn't gonna know what I was doing, and gosh, half the people there, just more than half, 90% of the people there were just they didn't care. They just had wine coming out rapidly to these tables, and no one was really telling you about the wine. It was just like, here's this one. Okay, now it's this one. Here's some cheese. And I was like, this is kind of lame. I was picturing this bigger deal. Also, maybe something special for the price we paid for that wine event. It was actually at a winery. I'm not going to say the name of the winery, so I don't want to slam them, but it was, it was not the best. It was not worth what we paid for it, that's for sure. It was not very sensible, is what I'm saying. Sommelier would not have been pleased with that tasting. I think the secret wine party will be way cooler because there's going to be a whole bunch of VeeFriends there. Gary will be there. And I think it's going to be cool it's an interesting week in New York City that week, and NFT NYC is going on. So I'm sure, hopefully I'll get to meet some of you collectors officially, fans. And looking forward to seeing the crew in person. Looking forward to that. Wow, what's going on with this crazy music? Traveling in the future. Blade Runner or something. Okay, let me see. Messages. Kind of wanted him to have his bow tie off, but for the sake of this comic, he needs to still be. I gotta change this music. That's annoying me. Bip, 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 bip. Nope. Let's go chill hip hop. Let's go try that out. I wish we could have this just no one wants to really listen to my garage punk music. I listen to whatever. I usually drop it. Not allowed to do that. It's funny, I was just on TikTok last night and I was coming across some of my friends' accounts, and it's after they took that music away, there's so many accounts where it's just them no sound. I'm I wish I knew what they were saying right now. This seems important. Wow. That must suck. They invested so much time in their content. And it was actually, I was trying to watch it. I'm like, oh, I want to hear what this one's about. Nope. Sound's gone. So I guess, got to use the commercially free sounds, you know? I wouldn't even that makes me not wanna trust, you know, I'm a for my own content, I subscribe to Epidemic Sound, and it makes me nervous that, like, one day they're gonna pull the sounds and I'll be like, "Man, all my YouTube videos are jacked." That's part of the internet. Similarly, in a weird way, I had a friend from Comics Land get a hold of me and say, "Hey, man, I was using WordPress comic easel template for his archive of his comics, and then suddenly that WordPress theme stopped working, and it broke his entire site." And I was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I haven't messed with that in a long time. I wish I could help you." And he's like, "I got a new comic um, template to use, like an archive." And he's asking me, "But I have years worth of comics on my hard drive. How do I upload them in mass? Is there a way to do that?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't think that there is. You know, I honestly think you would have to go in one by one and update it." I used to be able to be a wizard at that stuff with like FTP access and stuff like that, but over the years, as they've simplified these programs, platforms, or software, they've actually taken away a lot of those things that made it easier to just drag and drop a giant archive of strips. So it's just part of the job, is keeping things updated and keeping up on things as a content creator and an artist. It happens, but maybe try to see it as a way to kind of reset your own expectations. And we had to do that manually behind the scenes here for the comics. I started rocking and rolling on these comics, and they've built a really nice archive on VeeFriend. It's coming on Monday. I think it's supposed to release on Monday, so that's some alpha for you. Cool comic archive coming on Monday on the website. And you know, that was a manual process, a team effort, but definitely a manual one by one data entry. I can't imagine. Could you imagine if it's years from now? So my friend George Broderick, he has probably 10 years worth of comics that he's uploaded, and now he has to go back, and I would not do it. I would be like, how about we just say this was the old stuff and let's put up some classics occasionally. I wouldn't worry too much about massive archive system. All right, what am I going to do here? Am I going to show, this one is, I don't really want to show you. I want you to wait for the joke. So I'm just going to focus on some coloring here. I'm going to go back and find Sommelier. I've already colored him once in the Valentine's Day strip, so I'm going to go back and look at that one. Take a look at that. By the way, if you're new to VeeFriends, I see a few watching that I'm not familiar with. If you're new to this and watching this, or if you're watching my art streams, VeeFriends is over 280 characters of created by Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. And they all have different character traits. Here we have Sensible Sommelier. I'm going to go ahead and copy all so you can see what I'm doing here. This is tough to beat a worm from the dirt. This is Last Glass Standing. Okay. This is the daily comic strip. There's a lot. There's a lot out there. We go Monday through Saturday, and then Sundays are bigger. If you're not familiar, last Sunday we didn't take a look at that. That was a really fun one to do. I did all the dogs from VeeFriends. I think I got all the dogs. I think they're all there. If I missed one, my bad. But I think I got them all. That was a fun one to draw. back over here, paste in these sensible sommelier colors. And above the inks. Oh. Put them above the inks there. Yeah, I'm excited for Monday to have a place because it's been kind of hard whenever, even here in the streams, people will say, where do I read the comics? And I'm like, well, the socials come out every day. But if you want to read an archive of them, it's a little tricky to go through and find them all. No one wants to really be reading comics on Facebook, but that was probably the best place to see them all in one big chunk. Like an album of some kind or something. But all right, I'm going to set this to reference layer. I'm going to move this rectangular frames down. I got to do that first. Pinch those two together. I'm going to go ahead and do I need 2 layers? I don't think so. So this is the newer trick that I've been doing with flatting. It's way faster now than I was doing before. So if you watch the streams before, it took me quite a while to fill these in. Now I can kind of flat pretty quickly. I call it flatting. He looks very orange on my stream right now. I hope he doesn't look too orange on yours. The saturation on the streaming software is like pretty, it really brightens it up and I can't adjust it yet. Trying for that. Continue fill. He's got a white shirt, but I'm going to go ahead and just put to fill it with, fill it with the gray. So that I can see that it's all filled in. We're just going to fill him in. Also the white shoes. We'll get back to the bow tie in a second. Morning, David. Thanks for tuning in on Friday. Hope you're all going to have a great weekend. If you have any weekend plans, what are you excited about this weekend? I am always drawing comics or something. That's what I enjoy doing, but I think it's haircut week. I'm gonna go get a haircut. Threshold. Okay, good. Yeah, his bow tie is not the same. It is the same color as his pants, but I'm going to go ahead and fix that up too. We will fix that up. Yeah. Sensibility. Just kind of really tied. I'm thinking about this is sensible sommelier, so I'm always sitting here quietly thinking about, that job. Where does he get his mustache? Where did you get the amazing mustache, sir? The eyelids are always a little bit different color. I don't draw the eyelids much. I like to have expressive. I am very careful with the eye colors though, so I like to get those right. I always put those in kind of last. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I'll make mistakes. I mean, I'm not perfect for sure. I realized, well, I'm not going to say a mistake I made. Or should I? Should I show you the mistake I made? Can you tell me, if you're paying attention, can you tell me a recent mistake that I made? Curious if anyone else noticed. I noticed yesterday and I was like, oh man. I corrected it. Any guesses what mistake I made this week in the comics? I'll own up to it. And then I got a creative way of getting out of it. Talk about that for a second. Any guesses? Any guesses? I did make a mistake this week. Or maybe it was a happy accident. So any takers? Any guesses? I kind of want to show you now, but I'm okay with, if I make mistakes, I'm fine with it. I go like, oh man, I messed that up. Like, I'll do a better job next time. I'll show the mistake here in a second, guys. I made a big mistake. Not a big mistake, a little mistake. But just know that I'm looking, I'm trying. Like, doing my best. It's like, is this why is there a little pixel here? What's going on? There we go. All right. That was bothering me. All right, who wants to see the mistakes that I made? You ready? Let's go. I'll show you. So it's Fearless Fairy Week. Yeah. And she showed up in this comic on Monday. Lady cleaning her room. That's Fearless Fairy. All good, right? So this comic, do you see the mistake? Does anyone see the mistake? Corso, you're not allowed to say. Well, it's the F. It's pointed in. And I drew this entire comic like that. It still kind of looks cool, right? Maybe she has two wands. That's the out. So yesterday's comic, I noticed did I do it on this one too? I got it right on this comic. This was the comic I realized. I was like, wait, I'm messing it up. But it wasn't until I got it right on that comic, but it wasn't until yesterday's comic when I was drawing it the wrong way again. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think it goes this way. And it was like, it felt weird. It felt weird because if we look at fairies, did I mess it up in another comic? I messed it up here. It's the F's pointed out, right? Like that. That's right. Bottom left panel. Oh man. such a tricky thing. It's a tricky shape. Gosh. Oh, I noticed. I caught it, and I was like, "Oh." So, I might even go back and redraw those, so that they're right in the print edition. No one realized. I know. I know that internally, people realized. I know that. 'Cause sometimes I'm going so fast, and as I'm drawing it, I'm like, "There's something weird here. This doesn't feel right." And I'm like, "Wait a minute. Check this out." It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Also, I know that even in this little bit of time that I've been drawing the characters, like, they're changing a little bit here and there, and they'll develop into, like, a house style sort of thing, even beyond my own art and what's out there. Gary knows what I'm talking about. It's also fun to see. I love seeing the fan art. I really encourage it out there. So if you're an artist watching and you want to draw your favorite character, I'd love to see more of that. Fan art going on. The blue belt too. And I'm gonna put clothes on them that are different sometimes. Like you saw the dog, dialed in dog, like I don't know. When I thought of dialed in, I think of those guys playing poker with the headphones on and the sunglasses and all that. They're super dialed in, focused. I'm like, I'm gonna do that. Put that in there. So I'm gonna do white on this. And the gray that's there will be it's really hard to see in the stream, but you can just basically paint in the highlights of where the light's bouncing. And wrinkles on shirts and stuff like that. Megan says her fan art would resemble Gary's Series 1 art. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. People that make fun of Gary's art. I got the drawing club. We got artists of all different levels. You got to start somewhere. Even Gary was like, man, he told me, he's like, I wish the art could have looked like how you're drawing right now. And I'm like, oh man, come on. He could do it. You need a little more time. I don't know if he has more time to devote to art right now, but he might surprise you one of these days. That's what he might be doing right now. Maybe he's just working on his, kind of like a drawing competition, drawing challenge. Let's go. I'll win, but I'm sure he'll put a good effort in. It's very satisfying to put those little highlights in. Makes the characters just pop. Makes them into good stickers too. I know Corso's been making up the stickers for the Discord and all that. It's fun. I love seeing people post those as replies and stuff. It's fun. It's fun. Now we've got. I'm flying through this one. This feels good. Gonna work on Sunday's comic a little bit too. All right, we're gonna do the background. Get rid of his. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my background layer, and we're just gonna lay down like a bowling alley sort of brown. Oh, nope. Still got my reference layer on. Okay. should I close these lines? Any other lines I need to close? That looks good. That looks good. Probably these. A little closure. Just so I can hop right through those real quick. Kind of like a checkerboard pattern going on. There. Carrie asked what app I'm using. I'm using Procreate on an iPad Pro. Great program. The coolest thing about it is you buy it once. I think I bought it years ago, you know. And actually don't like the brown is too brown for his skin tone too, so I'm gonna change it up. Go with green. The whole green. Oh, something's not closed there. Oh man, I'm on the wrong layer. How about that? How about them apples? Now we can go. Green in there. Trying to find like complementary colors to go. Also draw your eye around. We'll just use that red. Checkerboard up here. Looks pretty decent. What does white look like up here? It's got bowling alley vibes, I think. Oh, what did I do? Okay, there we go. Thanks for watching. I'm drawing the daily comic strip for VeeFriends currently. Appreciate you watching and hanging out on this Friday. Another lane over here, so I'm going to just color this in by hand. And I think probably bowling lanes, maybe like a little bit of metal blue. Can you fill that? Oops. Blue. Cool. The gutter's usually like darker version of the lane color. Let's do that. Maybe a little more orange, brown. That's fun. Okay. Couple questions there in the chat. Carrie says, which character is this? This is Sensible Sommelier, the wine server. He's bowling with some wine bottles here. They got a secret wine party coming up. Location will be announced. It's not a bowling alley, I'll tell you that. It's just that this is how he's unwinding and getting himself ready for his day. All right, let's do that. Do I have a general checklist of things to double check? Sometimes after I ink now, I try to make sure I've closed my lines so that I can do a little bit quicker coloring now. Well, and I'll check things like the fairies. I'll just look at some of the details, make sure is everything colored? Is everything, looking good? Did I do highlights? I'll do like a real quick, outfit check. Sometimes I'll be like, I don't like the way that sunglasses or outfit worked or looked, and I'll change it up. Um, and that's the part that can get kind of time consuming. Could be the difference between a 5-hour strip and a 6-hour strip. Would be like noodling around with too much with details and just saying like, I just need to ship this. Like no one would have noticed. But once I notice a problem, I'm going to try to fix it. I'm not going to just like leave it there and go to hell with it. I'm going to try my best to make a quality cartoon. Now tomorrow, when you see this comic live, you can comment on it and say you watched part of it being drawn live. That's fun. It'll go live on all the VeeFriends channels, probably around 8:30 in the morning, something like that. I think that's usually the time we've been putting up. Just a little highlight on these bottles here. They're so small, they won't be really zoomed in this much. They're kind of just off in the distance there. And I'll do things like throw a little shadow under them. Even just something simple like that kind of adds some depth to it. We'll go with red for the labels. And I think those lines are closed, so I should be able to just... That's what happens when they're not closed. There's a little leaky spot where the color will come through there. That's okay. I'll fix that. It's also a stylistic thing too for me, where I don't normally close all my lines because I like the line thinness to be so thin sometimes that there's no line for like lighting effects. But it does slow down coloring. So again, the things that no one would notice, and I shouldn't stress out about, so I'm not gonna do that. I have an 80% rule, If I've got it like 80% good, 90% good, then I'll ship it at some point. But especially for like an establishing shot of the lane, the bowling alley, I want to get the lane kind of cool. And I mean, you already know I've done my job as a cartoonist because he's at a bowling alley, even if it's kind of, crude. Still doing its job, conveying what is going on here. And I'm gonna shade this lane a little bit. It's gonna go ahead and automatically select these colors, and then I'm going to grab probably my gouache. I don't know. Let's see what the gouache brush does. Now we can just have fun with some perspective. And is it going? Nope. On the wrong layer. Good. That's good to know. It's gonna kind of like a, using the color as the perspective lines a little bit, if that makes sense. It's very subtle, but definitely will make it look more like a bowling alley. So I'll hit up like a lighter color, and we'll just hit in a little bit more into the, just a little bit. Not too much. The harder I press, I can go real bright. So it's just like a very subtle perspective thing. That's good. See, that passes my 90% rule. That's a 90% looking wood lane. I don't like these little black dots over here. I'm gonna change those. Sometimes I'll just put like random specks to just kind of acknowledge a color or maybe just a little grit texture. And I'll go in and color over those to make them the shape of the lane, or they're not even needed. So I'm just going to remove what is unneeded. There. However, it did mess up the other layer doing that. I could use my smudge tool and just smudge it in. I don't know what this is. It's a color blue, so it must be the pants layer. Yep. Erase that. Cool. Saw something else here. What's this? Probably not needed. Let's get rid of it. Cool. That's looking really good now. Got a nice little lane. I don't even really feel like this highlight is needed. I'm going to get rid of it. Yeah. Just get rid of that. Do the same thing. Smudge that. Sometimes it's just a reminder to myself to make sure that there's a shine on the floor or like glass or something like that. I can just blend it out a little bit. Cool. Gone. Sweet. All right, we've been live for an hour and a half. Got this panel done. Well, little bowling balls over here. Let's add some little color in there. Maybe that'll be purple. That's fun. Megan asked if I have a set color palettes for comics. I mean, I do have a few of these here. If you can see, Megan, I don't know if you can see now. Let's see. My TikTok stream is a little bit behind. There we go. Yeah, I've got some like random ones that I use. Pencil red, some flesh tones. There's like kind of like a VeeFriend's green that I use sometimes. Like the old green. I'll use that as quick things. But other than that, I'm usually just grabbing and going like 45 degrees this way or that way on the dial will give me like a light or a dark, shadow, highlight, mid-tone for whatever color I'm picking. That's kind of how I do it. Forgot his shoes. I know he's got like, we're going to give him the white highlights. Make sure I'm on that layer. Yeah, the shadow, the light's bouncing off this way. That's why the shadow's casting this way. Keep that in mind. Give him yellow souls, I think. I think I'll just kind of drag down to get a nice shadow yellow. There we go. This red looks a little. I'm just going to go ahead and like give a little bit of, just a little bit of like texture with some like small, going in the direction of the perspective of the freestanding. It could be carpet, it could be, I mean, you've been to bowling alleys, maybe you see that texture of the floor is usually a little bit different than the wood lane. Or if you accidentally step on the wood and slip on the oil of the lane, I've done that times. Not very fun. Same thing here. I'm gonna go back to this, and I just want to do like a little shadow up there to kind of pull your eye to the ball. Ooh, his eyes are gray. You can't really see it on the stream, but they're really gray. It's freakish. Let's not do that. Much better. We'll just redo the eyes real quick. Pretty sure it's a like rich chocolatey brown eye colors. That's fun. All right, great. Get out of that lane, sensible sommelier. Hola. Hey, Michelle. Good morning. Good morning, KSAB9, KSAB9 at Twitch. There's a tool that helps you figure out which layer the extra marks are on, but I've forgotten it. I think I know what you're talking about. Go ahead and make this white. Make this dark green. And make that lettering inside there red. Oops, maybe. Isolate that. Steelers fan? I'm asked that a lot here in Pittsburgh, and the answer is if you live in southwestern Pennsylvania, it seems as though it's your duty to be some sort of Steelers fan, whether you're a bad Steelers fan or a good one. So I'm a passive Steelers fan because they've let me down so many years. That for years I just stopped. I was like, I can't do this anymore. It's stressing me out. But I am familiar, and I've been following all of the cool stuff that's going on. I also had friends that knew Kenny Pickett really well. So I've seen the, don't want to get too far into football land, but all the memes on poor Kenny. There's a really funny, cringy commercial for Levin Furniture locally. So Levin's Furniture, and we spell it like this. I'm gonna do it now. Poor Kenny Pickett. We thought he was gonna be the guy. Levin's Furniture, and then he and his girlfriend or his wife became spokespeople for this local furniture company. And I saw a meme with him saying Levin's Furniture. Oh man, so good. Gotta erase this. Daily Damien says, love the work in these streams. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Over on YouTube. We're live on all the channels. If you're new to VeeFriends, this is the comic strip, daily comic strip that I'm drawing. I'm about done here with this stream. Got to head off to the team meeting. Been live for an hour 40 today. Sensible sommelier, bowling. He's getting ready for his big night at the secret wine party by just, letting loose, playing some bowling, knocking those bottles down. Take one down, knock it around. VeeFriends is, for all those that don't know, quite a 280 plus characters. They're all here on the site. If I can get my site to load, VeeFriends.com. All characters are here. All characters. There's alphabet. All 280 characters are here. You're looking at sensible. Sensible sommelier. Click at his. Did I click it? No. Each character has a character page. If you have a favorite character, there's links here where you can actually watch the first drawing that Gary did. Every character he drew has a special video there. It's pretty cool. You can buy apparel of all the characters, which is pretty amazing. You can buy the digital collectibles. You could just have fun reading about the character. Pretty soon, Monday, there will be a special. Look at this. There's different poses that he's got. NFTs and the, oops, what did I do? Oh no? No? That's all done. Let's go back to drawing now. Too bad. Steelers since 4th grade. I'm only 54 now. I got in trouble and had to do a book report on Steelers. What are you gonna do? It's looking promising this year, though. We say that every year. So let's see. It's the team that everybody loves to hate. I get it. We're the underdogs a lot. Not like the Jets, Gary, but we don't got it as bad as the Jets do. But I'm looking forward to when Gary buys the Jets and then goes to the Super Bowls with the Jets. If anybody's going to do it, I believe that Gary will. Some people, if you just declare it and work hard at it, make it happen. Gary is one of those dudes. So people joke and go, oh, that's just something that's fun that he says. I'm like, no, man, he's incredibly serious about buying the Jets. It's a great talking point, great thing that people know about him, but I'm telling you, it's very true. It's very true. It's made me watch Jets games, which is, look, he's already doing the marketing for the Jets. They don't even know it. Or maybe they do. I don't know. My son and I watched some Jets games and root for them. And it was very painful last season. Like, God darn it. Catch a break. All right. This is looking pretty good. I still got some work to do on this one today. I think we're going to call this one a stream. So again, thank you for watching. Appreciate you joining for some coffee and comics, and hope you enjoy your day. Megan, I'm sorry. Got to run off to some meetings and work on some stuff. I would stay I could just stay alive all day if I could. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Appreciate you sharing the comic. All the love. Hope you have a great weekend. I'll be back here on Monday morning live on TikTok, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, and then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, always going to be live for now with the comics. And maybe we'll start doing it every day. We'll see. See how the day goes. So have a great one, guys.